I'm convinced I was born
A wonderful human being is not, and that's what you are, is not evidence that the organization is appointing people the way that the Bible outlines. In my experience, you two are the exception.
They're doing it to
Not
the
the rule.
best of their ability as imperfect men.
That's not true in every case, because if someone's deliberately lying or covering over wrongdoing, they're not doing their best. That's not your best.
Well, so
Correct?
you're saying that the governing body is covering over some of these.
Well, I don't know that. I just know that if that's what local elders do, then you can't say they're doing their best. If they're deliberately omitting or deceiving, that's not doing your best. And that's not mistaken perfection. That's being a liar.
But is that the governing body's fault?
Well, are they appointing these brothers?
Based upon the information that they're getting from the body, from the elders.
So then they're not appointing these brothers. The governing body isn't appointing them. The Holy Spirit isn't appointing them. It's the local body of elders who appoints them. That's the evidence that you just gave me. That's where the lines connect. All the other lines are dotted and they're theoretical.
Because not every brother that is recommended is appointed. So the ones that are not, we don't hear about.
So, what does that prove?
Well, you're saying that Holy Spirit doesn't. Well, if they're not appointed,
I'm asking for proof that it does. If you can't prove it, then how can you expect anyone to believe it?
Well, then, if you want definite, concrete proof in every aspect of being a faithful Christian, where are you going to find that, Micah?
I don't want it in every aspect. I want it in the major, pivotal aspects. And I'm pretty sure the appointment of shepherds is major, not a minor little point.
All right, Micah, that being the case, then there's got to be right now some large group, not huge, but a good-sized group of people with shepherds that are shepherding their flocks according to the standards that you're talking about.
There has to be.
Well, the end is coming. This good news is going to be. We're running out of time. Who has the truth?
I'm not sure that I've seen evidence that there has to be a group who's doing this right. Jesus asked a question in Matthew 24. He didn't explain it would definitely, I'll find a group and I'm going to love them. He said, if they're doing the right thing, then I will.
But in the first century, he spearheaded, he started the Christian, the growth of Christianity. So isn't that the group? The ones that are adhering to the...
Yeah, but unfortunately, what happened to that group? The apostasy happened.
Correct.
And they disappeared from history.
Well, let me just get something clear in my mind. So are you saying that it sounds to me, correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds to me like you're saying the apostasy is running everything, it's controlling everything.
That's the evidence that I see, but I wouldn't make that statement because I don't know that for a fact.
Well, I can.
But
if I see apostasy in every group that I am aware of, that's all I know.
But as far as what you've seen, Jehovah's organization, Jehovah's Witnesses, are an apostate group.
No, I don't like to call people names like that. I think that would be presumptuous of me. I was just borrowing that term from you guys.
Well, let me ask you, the Catholic faith, are they apostate?
As individuals or as an organization?
As an organization.
Yeah.
And you can go systematically into and say yes and not sure, yes, right? The Mormon faith. I got all this.
I don't even think they qualify as that because they're not even trying to follow Christ. They just made up their own story. It's like Scientology. They just made up their own little we from this planet.
But you're saying, as far as Jehovah's organization, you can't get to you can't conclude that like you do with the Catholic faith.
No. If if I get unfortunate answers to these questions, I probably would be able to come to 98% certainty.
So right now, without the answer to those questions, you're in the upper 75%.
I'm open to this being the truth. Absolutely. That's why I bothered to write them. Otherwise, I would have just said, forget you guys.
So let me ask you, Mike, outside, and I understand you've had bad dealings, with the elder body, and you've experiences in life you've seen, and it's soured a lot of in different areas. But what has really Jehovah's Organization done to you that you've decided, and you started really poking holes? Because I have my wife, who I love to death. If I want to, I could sit here and poke thousands of holes in her, right? And you could do that to Jehovah's Organization. I mean, you can do it to any organization, right? But I'm thinking, they're teaching us to. You might not tell my wife.
Don't worry.
Okay.
Don't worry. I will mail her the transcript.
But they're teaching us to live a clean, wholesome life now.
I won't deny there are many benefits from living by Bible principles. Absolutely. Yeah, there are. And these questions, I hope, aren't holes.
Hope what?
I hope these questions aren't holes. That would be unfortunate. I hope they're actually, there's an armor plate there, and there's an answer. I don't want to find a chink in the armor, but I have to follow the evidence wherever it leads. Like a homicide investigator. Even the person you least think is guilty, you still have to consider them as a suspect, because you got to look at the evidence. And if it looks like the father did it, I don't want to think that, but you got to follow the evidence. That's what I'm doing.
Did you read the Watchtower article from yesterday?
You listen on the phone?
Probably not.
This is, it has good information. Anyways, and the fact they have some of the scriptures that we're talking about. It's avoid being quickly shaken from your reason.
I'll take it.
I'll give it to you.
Thank you.
There's a section here on paragraph 10, maintain your hold on the traditions. Paragraph 10, it says, Paul urged his brothers in Thessalonica to stand firm and stick to what they had learned. 2 Thessalonians 2:15. Thessalonians 2:15. So then, brothers, stand firm and maintain your hold on the traditions that you were taught, whether it was by a spoken message or by a letter from us, meaning the apostles in the congregation. Okay, the paragraph continues. What were the traditions that they had been taught? Certainly not those held by false religion and promoted as if they were as valuable as what is found in the scriptures. Not those traditions. Rather, Paul was referring to the teachings that he and others had received from Jesus, as well as what God moved the apostles to transmit, much of which became part of the inspired scriptures. So that's the traditions that they're talking about, to hold fast to. Those things that were taught by the apostle. That's why Jehovah's Organization as a whole today, Jehovah's Witnesses, is modeled after the first century congregation.
Correct.
That's the effort that they're putting forth to. That's because that's the model that Christ wanted us to follow. Because he established the Christian congregation.
I never heard Jesus say that.
Never heard him say what?
He wants us to follow the model of first century Christian congregation.
He wants us to follow him.
Right.
He's the head of the Christian congregation. Who established the Christian congregation, Christianity? Who established Christianity?
You're asking a tricky historical question.
Rhetorical, you said, or
Historical question. Because, you know,
Well, what is Christianity?
another tricky question.
Well,
Because it all depends on your perspective, right? Because Jesus said, "I am the way, the truth, and the life."
Okay.
But then subsequent people who claim to follow him added requirements on top of loving Jesus. They added other man-made traditions and rules that Jesus never said we had to follow.
Like what, for instance?
So, well, I don't know. Any extra rule that, like the Catholics think
Well,
that the babies have to get baptized.
Okay, well, that's what the paragraph said. We're not talking about the traditions of what we consider false religion.
Mm-hmm.
We're not talking about the traditions of the Catholics, the Protestants, the Baptists. We know that their teachings are not in harmony with Jesus' teaching.
Right, but any man-made tradition that is in addition to what Jesus taught is still a man-made tradition.